Well guys, I just figured today I'd show you something interesting. This right here is the Scioto River in Roundhead, Ohio. Any of you boys from central Ohio or even south central Ohio know the Scioto River. You know, it's this big thing runs through Columbus into the Ohio River. Way up here in the Northland, it's a creek. I'm gonna show you. This is for a lot of you creek guys out there, a lot of you guys that live next to creeks. How you catch small fish. How to fish these little creeks. Especially in the winter. One of my favorite ways is just a float. Little tiny sinker. And a wormy. Red worms work real good this time of year, so do wax worms. I wouldn't go down to spikes. I mean, you could, but I think spikes work a little bit better from my experience through the ice instead of being used in open water. I know plenty of people that use them in open water, but I don't. Just my experience though, you know. Red worms on the other hand, especially early winter, fish are still a little bit nippy. Get off of there. There we go. Kind of want to eat a little bit bigger baits. You can kind of get this in front of them. I might take the float off later. And oh, there he is. Creek chub. One of my favorite fish. Now you guys know me. The mighty creek chub. I do not remember the He's okay. I do not remember the scientific name off the top of my head. Little brother's just a little ways down from me. Checking out another spot. Wasn't even paying attention that time. I missed him. But yep. Some decent fishing. We're not going after anything big. I mean, we might see a carp, but that's a pretty big maybe. And it's a pretty unlikely chance that we catch it. Suckers are decent chance. Every now and again a bass or crappie makes its way into this, but it's winter time and for the most part it's going to be creek chubs and shiners. For any of you guys that aren't too picky, for anyone just looking to get out in the in-between season, there's ice on the lake, but it's not quite enough to go out on. You don't got any way to break it up, so you can't go on the lake. You can't fish it because there's not open water. You don't have any big trout rivers around you or anything, and the bass are being real picky. You just want to get out and catch some fish, this is a good way to do it. Trust me, it's a pretty fun way to do it too. I mean, watching a float go down, feeling a hit, catching a... Most of these rivers, especially these little rivers, if rivers that you don't think there's fish in but have deep enough holes, can especially be fun because, I mean, you're only going to get creek chubs in them, but you get big creek chubs, you know, 10, 11 plus inch creek chubs. Ultralight, oh, that's a lot of fun, you know. You got a bunch of little tiny guys down here playing with me. I haven't taken my worm yet, so I'm going to keep fishing. Never known. I've caught them in here up to 12. That's a fun. Oh, I done knocked the shit out of you guys. I'm sorry. Now that's a lot of fun catching a big 12-inch creek chub on an ultralight, especially when you're not ready for it. Really like it in the summer when they're hitting lures and you get them on the get that big 10, 12-inch creek chub. Now I know that seems kind of ridiculous. Some of you guys, you're like, man, we catch those as our little ones. Those are the ones we call, you know, 12-inch fish. But 12-inch creek chub coming up, nailing a spinner, the power of Zeus. Okay, I don't care who you are. That's fun. I'm on my grandparents' property right now fishing this hole. I'm gonna fish it just a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna head upstream to a couple deeper holes. Not gonna be a long session today, just getting out and getting some fishing, and I haven't been able to go in a while. And those things still, man. I wonder. Never know. Sometimes no, it's a little bit further up in the hole. Not quite getting down to the deeper part of it. I've had a couple of times where letting it float down like that's been the better option, but who knows? I haven't been down here in a while. Looks like they won't be hit around the head today. My voice just cracked. That's lovely. That's what you want in your videos, a big voice crack. Oh, come on. He's thinking about it. He's really thinking about it. There he is. Like I said, nothing big, but when you've been inside all week, when you've been working all week, it's fun to get out and catch even the tiniest of fish. Leo Shang will agree with me. Maybe. No, I guess I can't assume anyone would agree with me on anything. Assuming is a bad idea. It's like assuming people like you. Don't assume things. It's the basic lesson to this whole thing. Come on. Fishy, 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 fishy. Fishy, 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 fishy. I can't see my bobber. Probably got a bite. Well, I don't know. I couldn't see my bobber. Anything could have happened. There you go. Creek chub. Creek chub. Loop. Oh no. I don't know how I did that. I really thought I was about to be in a real bad tangle, but it wasn't. We're just gonna pretend that was skill. That was skill. Nice is I can finally go back through and actually count how many fish I caught now that I have you, audience, camera, as a witness to my fish catching abilities. I can just hear it now. Utah, you're just sitting there catching freaking creek chubs out of a tiny little river. Leave me alone. You're gonna leave this long-haired country boy alone, okay? And then you're gonna leave this short-haired country boy alone as soon as I get a haircut. Which I need. That's at the point. I think what really sucks is I do all this commentary and then I know I'm gonna have to cut it out. Cut out at least half of it. I'm gonna figure out points in which anything I'm saying is making sense. Maybe that'll be my catch thing, like, you know, Leo Shang is tiny fish and everyone else has all these very specific things that make them famous, and maybe mine will be random rambling. Who knows? I don't even know if this is going to end up on YouTube or not. This might just end up on Instagram for any unlucky soul who happens to follow me to see. So that's how you call fish, guys, right there. It worked. See, that's how you call fish. You gotta go. Make a few more casts in here and I'm gonna head upstream. I'll wait, you guys back up when I do. And something real cool happens here in a second. There we go. I found him. I think ooh, Flying fish. Ignore that. Come here, buddy. Calm down. Calm down. Go home. Be free. I know this seems kind of, I don't know how you say, childish, pointless. Some people think it's stupid. I don't. I think it's fun. Okay, because I'm catching fish. I'm not sitting here looking for a 10-pound bass in 30-degree water in northwest Ohio. Okay, because I'm just going to tell you guys, it could happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. Oh, shit. My guides are freezing. Always check your guides, because I don't get that. That's not how physics works. My second guide was frozen, but my third guide wasn't frozen, and my first guide wasn't frozen. Third guide not being frozen, that's kind of understandable, but the fact that the second guide was completely frozen, but my tip had no ice on it at all, it's kind of confuzzling. Not gonna lie. Yep, last cast, and I'm gonna head up. Maybe, if I get this. Okay, I'm gonna count it. Tiny fish. Bait. I need to start freezing some of these guys so I have chub dead baits and I can make chub strips for the ice season. Well, head upstream. Turn guys back on when I get there. Well guys, we're at a new spot, a little bit deeper hole. Took the bobber off. Put the split shot a little bit further down from the worm. Just kind of dragging bottom with this one. I just missed a fish, so we're gonna see if we can't get another quick bite. Fish here for another 20 minutes or so, 30 maybe. See how good the bite is. Might put the bobber back on. Drop it a little bit deeper if this fails, but it seems that dragging it worked. Kind of like the Carolina rig, or Greek chubs. And they're small worm-eating fish. Whatever I had on earlier was a little bit, had a little bit more golden tone to it, so it was either a bigger creek chub or just a different, maybe a male. Yep, that's probably what it was. Big male creek chubs. Kind of cool. They get a lot brighter colors, and they have these things called tubercles, which this one doesn't have right now. In the spring, you'll be able to see them. They're horns on their face. They get those ready for spawning season. Yep, just dropping it down there and just dragging it along. Really doing is that when it gets cold out, and it's a certain temperature, these fish think they're going to get ready to spawn. That's why they still have those colors. They don't have tubercles because they know they're not going to spawn, but they get in the same position like they're going to spawn. And they get on beds. They'll do is kind of make their beds ready. Reds, not really beds, I think they're called reeds. And what they do is they just make a little hole in the gravel on the bottom of the river. They'll go into deeper holes for hiding for a little bit during the winter. In the spring, they'll come back out to their reds. And it is on. There aren't many on reds right now because, well, some of them are smart enough to realize, no, it's getting cold. We shouldn't be trying to spawn. A few more aggressive ones will, though. I don't know why. Someone's probably going to yell at me for I'm releasing these fish, but I'm just trying to get them past these weeds down here. And, or these leaves, not weeds. I'm trying to get them past these leaves so that they don't dive into them. Keep them in deep water. That way they're also right back in the hole. I know a few people are going to yell at me like, yeah, well, you're spooking the rest of the... They're creek chubs. Okay, they aren't European chubs. They aren't bass. They're creek chubs, okay? As you've seen, I've thrown 3 back into the same spot. still getting hits. Now, if I could just hook up on more of them, I'd be happy. Also notice I'm kind of working it downstream a little bit further. Trying to keep moving. Keep that bait in a different area, and then hopefully, eventually, I'll start working my way back up. Or what I'll do a lot of times is, instead of working my way back up, is I'll just make my, after I get to the bottom of the hole, I'll make my next cast at the top of the hole and work back down again. That way you keep water. Keep the area you're fishing fresh. Not making repeated casts to the exact same area, where, especially when you're not having success there if you haven't gotten a bite. And I mean, I'll make 2 or 3 bounces with this and then I'm done. Such a small hole. I'm not really trying to, like I said, I'm not going after big fish. I'm just trying to catch numbers. Holding it there for a second. I want to see maybe. A lot of times you get down to this deeper section of the hole, you start getting into some of the bigger ones. It's typically where suckers will start holding that. It's more of a spring thing though, suckers. You don't get too many in the winter, but you can run to schools of white sucker. But your big ones, your red horse and your greater sucker, are pretty much just a spring thing. Out here, I mean, if you're in the deeper sections of river, you're going to find plenty. Hognose. Hognose are also kind of here year-round, but they're hard as hell to catch. I get big enough fish, and then I get in front of them, then they got to eat it, and not just peck at it. The biggest problem with hognose is that they got a real big head, but a real tiny mouth. Like I said, so I'm about, I'll fish down the bottom of that hole, and then I'll throw back up towards the top of the hole. This being such a big hole, I'll make 2 or 3 casts just kind of in this general area and then start moving my way down further and further. Let it drop, let it sit on bottom. Damn it. A lot of times it's on like pauses when they actually eat it. I mean, if they're being real sluggish, you won't feel it. You'll just kind of lift and then all of a sudden, oh hey, there's a fish there. That one I felt. That one was a little bit more aggressive. Who's that? Deer. Hi, deer. I'm not hunting right now, so you're safe to come out of your hiding spots. I'm a horrible deer hunter, I'm gonna be honest. Never have a bow on me when there's actually deer around. Always got a fishing pole in there around. Start going home with a fishing pole. Just walk down here with my bow in hand, on my back with the fishing pole. That way when I see deer, I can just let one loose and get him. Probably not. I think I'm just going to stick to bird hunting. I can do that. I'm not good at it, but it's manageable. Kind of like hand fishing. I'm not an expert, I'm not good at it, but I can still do it. I still have some success every now and again. But deer hunting, it's just none whatsoever. I don't even see them. Oh, I see does, but they're always way off, and then the one starts flicking its tail, and I'm like, what are you flicking your tail for? And then all of them scatter. Ooh, there's a nice one. And we're talking about creek chub here, so just not a tiny one. I'll take it. I'm happy. I'm happy with that. Like I said, a lot of times with these deeper holes, you can make cast repeatedly to the area. One big thing I do really when I'm walking that bait downstream is I'm trying to figure out what parts of the hole are more successful. I mean, I'm going to keep working downstream from here of this hole, and just so I'm not constantly refishing over water where I just caught a fish in case they did spook, or you never know. Sometimes you get into a school of small ones and you want to just move out of the way, see if you can't find a bigger one. And it works a lot of times, just kind of just moving just a hair downstream. Because really all you're doing is just, those fish get spooked. They're moving just a little bit downstream. They aren't usually moving too far downstream. Usually what they really do is they're scattering for a second and then they're coming right back to where they were. Let that hit bottom. Sit there for a second and I'm just going to just real little pops. Just barely moving that bait. Just trying to. I really like, if I had more current, what I'd be doing, if I had sufficient amount of current, I'd have like 3 of these BB shots on and I'd just be pitching up there and letting it drag all the way down to here. But I don't. I got current. I just don't have enough current. The amount of current I have is suitable for a bobber, but these fish seem to be really one that's just dragged across bottom. That's not there. Holding. Popping it. Holding. Is that me? I can't tell. I might have shook a little bit. Oh, dang it. A little bit of a shake and put so much action in the line that it's hard to tell if you're actually getting a bite or if it's just your dumb ass moving. I think I saw that one. Saw some flash on it. Probably just a little creek chub. That's all I need. Told my little brother earlier I caught like 20 in that hole, which is a complete and utter lie, but then he told me that in the hole he was fishing he caught 30, so we're both kind of exaggerating our numbers there. Point is though, I bet he caught a lot. I know I caught a decent amount. Also wasn't really doing what I should have been doing, trying as hard as I should have been trying. If I really wanted just to rank up a bunch of numbers, I just want to have a fun time. I do really hope you guys are actually seeing all this and I'm not just an idiot. Things on kind of crooked now that I look at it. You guys are sideways for a little while there. There we go. I like how I say that like it's going to be like a 5-pound bass. Like, yep, there we go, guys. Nope, it's just Mr. Creek Chub. I can't actually tell if you're seeing all this. Like, I can't see the GoPro. Come on, let go. Let go. Whoop. Yeah, I think for a second on that one. I do want to point out that I've used one worm this whole time. I have not put on a new worm, and I don't think I will. I think I'll save them for another time. If I wake up at a decent time tomorrow, I'll come back down here. I won't record it, but I'll come back down here and fish. Why? Because there's fish here. Because I can. So I'm just that kind of person. It's going to snow. It's going to be a lot of fun. I like fishing in the snow. Comes a winter wonderland, kind of. Gets that kind of Christmassy feel to it, because it's almost Christmas. And that first video I shot was on December 1st. I haven't put it up yet. Haven't touched it. That's beside the point. What I did do was I recorded it, and I know what date I recorded it on. Today is the 15th. In 2 weeks. Probably do something with that. Oh, I'll do something. I'm pretty sure I'll do something with this though. This isn't going to be a lot of footage, and nice about it is I can cut down a lot of the talking and just get to parts where I'm fishing. A lot of fish catching. There's like 30 minutes of fish catching. At least. I don't say that until I actually look at this and realize, no, but it's just 30 minutes of you talking and a couple fish show up here and there. It really sucks is that no one can, you can't feel or smell or really see everything I'm seeing. So you don't realize just how many bites I'm actually missing here. Really on me. I need to start actually catching these things. Show you guys. Come on. Come on. Ooh, there he goes. There he goes. There he is. Being a little bit more finicky here. I might try that hole down there for just a few minutes, and then I'm gonna go hang out with some buds, some mates, whatever you call them, from whatever country you're from. You may be seeing this. I don't know. I don't have too many followers, but I know a couple of them are from UK. Carp anglers. Kind of weird thinking that I could have an international audience and still only have 100 people following. I don't even think it's 100. I think it's like 30. Maybe I'll get famous. People start following me like crazy. Start blocking people. That'd be weird. I don't know if I want that. I don't want to have to block people. I hope everyone's just nice, and that never happens. Let's be honest here. You got a bunch of people in a room, someone's bound to be an asshole. It's usually me. But when you're in a room full of nerds and you're the only fish nerd, you're also a big redneck, eat turtle and other shit like that, and yeah, you tend to be an asshole. Not on purpose though, is what really sucks. It's always like something stupid, and then you just say something that you think is common sense, and then you realize, no, not really. That guy used to yell that all the time, it's common sense. And it's like, no one would know how you're supposed to hook up a fifth wheel. Goddamn. What you might call them, not camp RVs, if you don't own one. Like, there's no book. If you just bought the thing, I didn't even know what a fifth wheel was until I started working for Indian Lake State Park, their campground. Like, I didn't know I didn't know that there was a thing called a fifth wheel. And now I've been looking for this fifth wheel for a long time just to find out something you hook to the back of the vehicle. It's like, what was the point of it? You could just go out and buy one that drives itself, or buy one that you don't need that weird fifth wheel for. I don't know, maybe there's something specific about them that I don't know about. But I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm kind of an idiot. I don't know a lot of things. Campers and RVs are one of them. When I go camping in a tent. So, you guys camping out there with RVs and stuff, I don't know. I've camped days with just a tarp. A buddy went camping and all he brought was a tarp and a hammock. He didn't even put the tarp over the hammock. He just set the hammock up, laid it himself, and then said, "Here, you guys go, have a tarp." So we built a fire and just stayed around the fire all night. I slept on the ground. We were stupid, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of stupid stuff. I went paddle fishing and like fishing for paddlefish. I guess I should clarify that, in Kentucky with some buddies, and they both had Sub-Zero sleeping bags, and I had 3 blankets and some thermal gear. It was below freezing at night. It got down to like the 20s at night, and I was sitting in this tent with 3 blankets and some thermal gear. I was cold. Like, Chubby pooped on me. Bastard. That wasn't nice. I guess I'd be shitting myself too if I just got ripped out of my house trying to eat a goddamn gummy worm. I think that'd piss me off more than anything. Okay, we're gonna move down to this next hole. I think I've spooked a lot of fish here. I haven't gotten a bite here yet, but then again, I had that bobber on, so I don't know. A lot of times, especially in this particular hole, you almost need to drag baits if you want any sort of bite. It's also a lot deeper here, and I don't remember the exact depth, so it's hard to set it. Basically, how you want to be fishing these baits anywhere. You don't actually want to be floating them like how we do for crappie and stuff here in the U.S. You want to be doing more like what the match anglers do, or the course anglers in Britain do. You want to basically be just dragging that bait across bottom, even under a float. And the reason why is because you want, all that float's there for is to indicate a strike. It's not there to hold the bait up. It's there to drag the bait across bottom with the current and to show you that you've gotten a bite. That's it. That's all that's there for. Make a few more casts. It's getting kind of chilly out. Got stuff to do, and I keep missing fish. If they take my bait, I'm done. Because I really want someone to do some other stuff. I gotta get some trail cams too, so I think I'll show you guys that. I think I'll leave that for some other video if I ever actually decide that the trail cams are important in some way or another. If I decide that, God, I don't know how I'm missing these guys. They're hitting pretty. I mean, unlike some of the other fish that are just kind of bleh. I mean, I can feel these guys. Just need to let them take it a little bit more. Bad drop. Slow down the retrieve. Drop the bottom, reel up. Always put my finger on the line because with these ultralights, I mean, I'm using mono, cherry wood. It's not the most sensitive thing in the world, this setup, but I can feel the line perfectly fine, and when they hit, I can feel them on the line. So there's one tip to you guys, is to always have your finger ready on the line so you can feel what's going on with your bait, because you never know when something, like especially these creek chubs, they don't hit hard, especially this time of year. It's really is a light thump. I wouldn't say light, it's more of it's dull, you know. It's not a sharp thump. It's kind of a thump. Because all they're doing, they're not coming up, hitting it, ramming it, smacking. They're just opening their mouths and eating it, and that's all you're feeling, is just them coming up and going, eating the bait. Once I get a better camera, I can show you guys all the actual movements I'm doing to do this. Here, fishy, 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 fishy. Here, fishy, 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 fishy. I want one more fish, and I'll go home and leave you guys alone. Okay? Okay, Mr. Creek Chub? I know you're in there. I felt you earlier. I know about and where these fish are actually hanging out at, but it's really hard to get to them. Not get to them, but it's really hard to get the bait in front of them the way I want it to, because they're down deeper. Just missed one, I think. Here, there, I just came off of a stick pretty fast, and sometimes that's a hard thing with this, is that, yeah, see, a lot of times when you're not certain of it, it's usually a stick. But when it's a thud, it's a thud. You know what I mean? You'll know a thud in between a stick, but sometimes you'll just kind of feel weight and you'll just assume, yeah, it's a fish. The real problem is when you're snapping it like that, and you snap it into the stick and then you think it's a bite. It's like, oh no. When you're holding it here like this and you feel a thud, you know it's a bite. I think I spooked him. He spooked. We're going to just drop this right down in there. Right. I want to try to keep it on this side of that. Oh, there's a big brush pile down there. I can kind of see it, but keep it on this side of that brush pile. Maybe not. Maybe I do want to throw it over there. We'll see. If I break off, I break off. Oh well. I go home. I'm not losing much. I'm losing a split shot and a gold hook. A lot of times if I really am just trying to hold it there, I'll just hold this rod tip up and see if something taps and just takes off with it. Of course, when you're shaking, you can't really tell what's going on, right? Make one cast down, and then I'll make one more cast back up that way. That failed miserably. Oh well, and then I'll see what happens. If I can't get a fish here in the next few seconds, I'm just gonna leave. My hands are getting cold. Got a lot of water on them. Touched a lot of fish. Might sneak and just popped off some structure and sink back down the bottom. Might recast that one just to see if I get a little bit. I want to do a little bit further up here, so. I'm trying to see if anything's falling in it. Because if something, usually you can see if a little one's falling in it because I'll keep tapping it. They'll fall all the way up, almost all the way up to the bank. Well, I wanted next to that thing. I'm not blaming it on the cold. It's the cold's fault, but I'm missing my casts. That ain't like because I'm a bad angler. I'm a good angler. I'm a master angler. Someone's yelling at me. Oh, I thought I had a bite. Okay. One more cast. If I say last cast, I'm never going to stop fishing. But if I say one more cast, I might stop. Got people yelling at me too, so I need to hurry up. Shit, come on. Big problem is I always say one more cast, but what one more cast means is if I don't get a bite, I'm leaving. If I get a bite, I gotta try one more fish at least. One more fish. I might actually run back up there and get the one more fish, but that's beside the point. I'm not good at stopping. Like certain things I'm good at just, saying, okay, it's time to quit, but fishing, it's an addiction. It's like cocaine. Crack. So this doesn't have to fuck up your teeth. Can. Shouldn't, but it can. Okay. One nice fish. I fucked up. I might still catch one, but that was a bad cast. Come on, just need one more. One more, I'll be happy. Come on. Please. Ooh, I saw him chase it. Come on. Yep, there he is. There he is. Just saw that one come up and try to eat it. Just saw 2 or 3 of them, so. They're still there. Here you guys go. A reward for being so nice to me. Here, have the bait. This one's hook free. That didn't go so far. Oh, well, it's floating. It'll float into them, maybe. I'll be nice, okay? I'll be nice, because that was supposed to be a little bit further out there. I got plenty of these guys. I'm going to find one. I'm going to rip it into a couple pieces. I'm going to just chuck it out there in the middle of no man's land. Hopefully, they get a hold of it, so some nice guy. This is not chumming. I promise. There we go. That one landed somewhere in the vicinity of fishiness. Well, guys, I'm going to try to get this off of here if I can. I get there. I'm just going to take the goddamn chest mount off real quick. guys. It's almost been half an hour. Adios.